class. Today let's learn C reading in 4th unit. The lesson is Tanaji Malusare. This is an inspiring story about a great soldier, Tanaji Malusare. It's a story of Maharashtra. After defeating Shaista Khan, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb sent 10,000 soldiers to Purandar, where Chhatrapati Shivaji was residing. The soldiers, under the leadership of Maharaja Jai Singh, defeated Chhatrapati Shivaji. Hence, a treaty of peace was signed, and the treaty declared 23 forts out of 35 to hand over the Mughal Emperor. So, the Maratha people was very sorry about that. Especially the king Chhatrapati Shivaji. This lesson is about Tanaji Malusare. Students, now we shall read the lesson. This is a story from Maharashtra. A very inspiring story of a brave warrior, Tanaji Malusare. A very inspiring story of a brave warrior. Tanaji Malusare was the name of the warrior. Perhaps no episode in Maratha history has moved the hearts of people as deeply as the death of Tanaji Malusare, the conqueror of Sinhagad, the Lion's Fort. Because of Tanaji Malusare, the Maratha people got back the fort Sinhagad. Chhatrapati Shivaji called Tanaji Sinha, a lion, because of his strength. Tanaji was a great friend of Chhatrapati Shivaji. This story is known in every Maratha child through the Ballad of Sinhagad. Ballad means a narrative song, a poem of popular origin. This story is known to every Maratha child, every Maratha people through the songs about Tanaji. The Sinhagad fort was one of the 23 forts surrendered to the Mughals as per the Purandar Treaty. As per the Purandar Treaty, this Sinhagad fort was one of the 23 forts captured by the Mughals. This act of surrender hurt the feelings of Marathas. There was fire in the hearts of Marathas. That fire would never subside till they take revenge. The Maratha people wanted to take revenge because they lost their 23 forts. And Sinhagad was the biggest and great fort of them. One morning, says the ballad of Sinhagad, Jijabai, Shivaji's mother, was looking out of the window of Pratapgarh. One morning, Jijabai, the Shivaji's mother, was looking out of the window of Pratapgarh. She saw in the distance the majestic monument, Sinhagad. She saw in the distance the majestic monument, the majestic fort Sinhagad, the lion fort. She wanted Shivaji to win back the fort from the Mughals. Jijabai, Shivaji's mother, wants Shivaji to win back the fort. But Shivaji thought that it was impossible, because the Mughals have a great number of soldiers, and Shivaji was unable to fight with them. He knew that there was one man who can do this. Shivaji knew that in his kingdom a strong man is there to fight with the Mughals. And that was none other than Tenaji. He knew about Tenaji very well. He knew that he was a strong soldier, and Tenaji was his friend also. So he sent for Tenaji. He called Tenaji. But when Tenaji came, Shivaji did not have the heart to tell his dear comrade why he had been summoned. Shivaji was unable to tell Tenaji to fight with the Mughals. Comrade means companion, your fellow, your associate. Comrade, companion. Someone asked to come, called. He called Tenaji, Shivaji called Tenaji, but he was not able to ask him to fight with the Mughals. His mother Jijabai told him the nature of his mission. His mother, Shivaji's mother, Jijabai asked Tenaji to fight with the Mughals. The lion-hearted Tenaji promised either to accomplish it or die in the process. Tenaji was so strong. He told that either to accomplish it or die in the process. He set out at night. Tenaji with some soldiers, he set out at night and marched towards the fortress with his men. And marched towards the fortress. He reached the fortress secretly. He reached the fortress secretly on a cold, clear and moonless night in February 1670. He had taken with him Shivaji's favorite Gorpad, lizard, to assist in scaling the fort wall. The Sinhagad fort wall was so high. Tenaji knew that it was not possible to climb the fort wall. So he took a lizard, Shivaji's favorite lizard, to assist in scaling the fort wall. A rope was tied to the waist of the lizard. He tied a rope to the waist of the lizard. The lizard refused to follow the order and climbed the fort as it noticed a danger in climbing the fort. The lizard refused to follow his order because it noticed that it was danger in climbing the fort. But Tenaji expressed his anger. When Tenaji expressed his anger, the lizard obeyed his order. It was terrified and scaled the hilltop, which helped the Marathas to go up the cliff. The lizard climbed the wall. It helped the Marathas to go up the cliff. Some soldiers reached the top. The guards in the fort detected their arrival. The fort was guarded by the soldiers. Tenaji reached the fortress at night. That day it was so cold and dark because it was a moonless night. The Mughal guards didn't expect any attack from Marathas on that day. So that they detected their arrival. The sentries were swiftly killed by the Marathas. But the clash of arms thoroughly roused the garrison. Tenaji faced a serious problem at that time. Many soldiers of his troops were still at the bottom of the fort. Only some soldiers reached with Tenaji at the top of the fort. Many soldiers were at the bottom of the fort. It was a very big problem. Even then, he had to challenge the enemy that greatly outnumbered his troops. Tenaji's troop was outnumbered because many of the soldiers didn't reach at the top in time. He has already made up his mind and he ordered his troops to launch the attack. Tenaji ordered his troops to attack. The fight proceeded. Tenaji lost many men, but there caused heavy losses on the Mughal forces. Tenaji repeatedly sang to keep the spirits of his soldiers high. Tenaji inspired his soldiers. After some hours, the Mughal commander Udayavan was engaged in a fight with Tenaji. The odds were against the Marathas. The long night march, the anxiety of the mission, scaling the fort, and the vigorous fight Tenaji had already been engaged in before had made him weak completely. Tenaji was so weak at that time because of these reasons. The reasons were the long night march, the anxiety of the mission, scaling the fort, climbing the fort, and the vigorous fight. Tenaji was so weak. Hence, after a lengthy fight, Tenaji fell, never to get up. After a lengthy fight, Uday Singh killed Tenaji. Students, the remaining part we will read in the next class. Thank you.